Okay, guys. I have a lot of voices in my head, and I want to be honest with my voices and me. And anyway, I'm trying to get my output. Yeah, go on the wrong channel. There we go. All right. And my display capture doesn't seem to be working today. Well, what a shame. Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of my family think I'm addicted to this. Pornhub. That's why they don't send me money. Because I'm addicted to porn. Porn! Everybody says, porn! Well, and look at me. Am I jacking off? If I'm undressed, on top of my clothes, I have shorts on. I'll show you. They're shorts. Balwdige. See, I'm not nude. Go out to the club, out to the pool. This is how I am. Unfortunately, people in my head and people elsewhere say I'm a sex offender, or I'm a porn addict, or I'm this, or I'm that. Has anybody ever got to know me to know what I am? Yeah, I've gone to strip clubs. I've gone to porn and looked at Pornhub. Yeah, I have. But does that mean I'm evil? No, it doesn't. There are people that my sister said this to me, and it fucking pissed me off. She said she saw a Catholic priest. She said she heard that, or she said she saw or heard a Catholic priest was at an adult bookstore. And she made sure she told me that. She looked me right in the eye and told me. And I said, we are all what we are. God made us male and female for a reason. Just because you're a priest, you can't turn off sometimes your maleness or your femaleness of your body. And so sometimes people will go and do porn. There are people who do porn and take advantage of children. There are. They're called child molesters. I am not a child molester. There are people that don't. There are people that have watched porn all their lives and have wives and family. And there's wives and family that, unfortunately, the wife and the husband are in porn together. And they're porn stars. Both of them are married. They're married and they're doing porn. And there are people like a friend of mine in my other dimension, and I don't know if it's her or not, but he was married to supposedly Jesse Jane, but he was a guy. He was a brigadier general. He was a guy that voiced in my head. And he died. He died in a ship protecting our world. But he married supposedly Jesse Jane. And Jesse Jane was, a porn star. But he also did something amazing. He was also the president or vice president of the world under me. And then he chose to be under another guy, a Russian guy. of the world. And then he decides that he will be in the ship defending our world. And he dies. But he also died a long time ago, during the Vietnam War. And he did go to West Point, and he was a general. I don't know his full name, and I don't know if it's real or not. But in my head, maybe make-believe and bullshit. There might be imps. There may not be imps that controlled this world and made us a slave planet, and a media slave planet. But we are what we are. And I am what I am. Yeah, I'm a porn addict, I guess. But am I a porn addict? My sister says, you're a porn addict. This. Well, fuck her. Every time I watch porn, she comes in my head and starts griping at me. Do I want my sister seeing me jack off? No, I don't. I don't want her in my room when I'm undressed. For some odd reason, I'm in the shower, not jacking off, just washing myself. I hear my sister's voice. I don't want her in my life like that. I never want her in my life like that. Satan's been making sure that people that I love and care for, that I want to get with, think this is my life. And this is not my life. Because if it was my life, then why aren't porn stars in my life? Why aren't I doing porn? Why do I talk about books all the time? Because I don't have a life and I read books. Why am I trying to sell Amazon? Why am I playing games? Why am I disabled and I hear voices? And I hear these voices that are called imps. And they attack me. And they physically attack me. And they physically put swords and knives and everything in me. And they hurt me. And so, and spiritually, when people see me in my spiritual body, I'm covered with swords now. You know why I'm covered with swords? Because I've killed and hurt evil spirits. And the evil things that have attacked me. And I've taken their weapons. I am not a nice person anymore. My family says I'm very hateful and mean. Well, when you're attacked all the time, that happens. Well, why aren't you medicated? Just say that medicated work. Well, if the medicine doesn't work, it doesn't work on spiritual stuff. And I've taken medicine. I've been medicated. I was completely medicated. If you read my book, and this part where I'm cut up and used as goat meat, yeah, I was sold as goat meat spiritually. And I was cut up. I was fully medicated. So what is medication? Is medication the devil? Or is medication good? Are there people who are addicted to pain meds? Yeah. I have a friend that is. He was addicted to pain meds. He was addicted to all these other meds. And when I got to know him, I thought he was finally clear of his meds and he was completely sober. But he was addicted to pain meds. So he was never sober. And I loved him, but he never was able to be his addiction because he was never sober. And maybe my addiction is this also. But am I ever sober? There's weeks and weeks I don't watch porn. So I guess I am sober. I have my sobriety and sometimes I don't have my sobriety. Am I worthy of somebody sharing my life? I think I am. I've been trying to get people to watch my YouTube and other things. And yeah, I'm on Patreon and I'm on a Patreon. I'm also on PayPal Donate and I'm also on my donations. I ask for help and support. Do anybody give it to me? No. Supposedly I'm now the imp god, but can make imps do whatever they want. Do whatever I want. Do they do anything I want? Maybe, but I haven't been paid back from them. None of them want to be my best friend. So I guess I'm not. The devil's lying to me. Or if I am, then people don't give a shit. You know, look at this. This thing is this letter to the Republican Party, January 6th, the thing that screwed my life over? I think it has. It killed my car. I've been walking every day. I walk over 5 miles a day now because my car got screwed over. Because January fucking 6th. And me writing this damn thing on my thing by standing up to Donald J. Trump. And then I find out in my head, my voices say, Donald J. Trump stole all the money from a girl I dated that I sent all my money to, a girl named Zoe. The Salvation Army. People see this and say, well, golly gee, he's a drug addicted fucking fool. Well, if you go to the outgoing program in the Salvation Army, that's the going out to work program. That's not the drug addiction program. You fucking idiots. It's the outgoing program. It's for people that are homeless and need some place to stay that are homeless. Instead of staying in your car and freezing to death. And some people do choose to stay in their car and freeze to death. They go into Salvation Army. And the people say, well, you can go to work. And when you get your job, we'll get you out. And that's the outgoing program. And I did that. And I did it for 6 months. But I was there maybe 4 months in the outgoing program. And yes, I went to work at Best Buy. I worked at Best Buy and I was homeless. And then I worked at Office Depot and I was homeless. And I even slept in my fucking car. And then one night I came to visit some people at Salvation Army, and they said, it's going to be a hard freeze tonight. Why are you sleeping in your car? And they made me sleep. My friend said, no, you're not going back to your car. You're sleeping here tonight so you don't freeze to death. And then there was another night I was in the Salvation Army, and I worked at Best Buy, and then I went outside. My brother was supposed to pick me up. He didn't show up. And then I said, it's snowing. I had to walk the whole way to my dad's house and my stepmom's house. She didn't let me stay with her at all. And then I said, so that's why I was at the Salvation Army. And I walked the whole way to my dad's house and said, Dad, I know you don't drive anymore, but you have to drive me back to the Salvation Army tonight. And I walked, it was like 3 or 4 miles from Best Buy. And he drove me back to Salvation Army and left me there. There was another night he left me there. He was pissed off he left me there because no one answered the door. And he said, you don't have your jacket? I'll give you this sheet, but it's not going to be warm enough. And I basically was freezing to death all night long, waiting for, if I saw this guy at the door, I thought I was going to get in. I didn't get in. The guy was a crazy guy, what was in the Salvation Army. Because it's general homeless people in the Salvation Army at the place I stayed at. It wasn't just, it's everybody and their dog goes there. But sometimes the dog doesn't go there because they don't let dogs into the Salvation Army. They let all the people do it. The dogs stay in the car and freeze to death. Now, Friendship supposedly is allowing dogs to go into their place now. Yeah, I have Patreon. No one wants to support me on Patreon. I have PayPal Donate. No one seems to want to support me on PayPal Donate. Because I do porn, I guess. But is there any videos of me doing porn? And this is my old business card. It's not my new one. I got a brand new one. This is me on X. Well, it might have links to stuff that's spicy, but is it porn? Whoobie is blocked. Is it because it's freedom of speech, or is it porn? There's no porn on there. There's no links to porn. It's all related to freedom of speech. Is this porn? Yeah, that's porn.
Hey, this is
that
Michael
porn? No, that's a book library.
Spacesbox.
Is that porn? No, that's Solana Catholic Church pantry where we feed people that need food.
I've been volunteering at the Solana Catholic.
Needing food. Is my charities porn? No, they're not. They're going to people that need help and support. And there's military charities. There's all different types of charities. And if you go to my link, I did send a lot of stuff to Soldiers Angels. Is that porn? No, that's not porn. That's Soldiers Angels. They're angels that take care of soldiers. And I did send stuff. I never heard anything back from the people, but I did send stuff. Are any of these porn? No, they're not. Sponsorship or PayPal donate or Patreon member of any gift of any kind. Is that porn? No, that's not porn. Is Spacesbox porn? No. If you look at my stuff, I give respect to people who die. If you look at my stuff, I have, me looking at chairs in Laguna Beach. These people are dead. People in Rancho San Margaret. Are they porn addicts? Are they porn addicts? No, they're people who died. Or she died in the plane that went into the buildings on September 11th. Does this say CS 25 Media porn star? No, it's 25 Media. I'm press. Media. Content creator. I create content, and I'm a press content creator. Spacesbox. Spaces Guide. simracingwithmichael. Michhaelguldelive.com. If you search for me on YouTube, do you find porn? No, you don't. But you will now, because you'll find this. And it says porn, isn't it? It says Pornhub. Oh, goody. Everybody, Pornhub. It has links to my PayPal donate, PayPal Patreon. It has links to my fucking stuff. Oh, golly gee. It has links to this. I need to take all Marie sea treasures out. Golly gee, my sister will get mad at me because I'm now showing she's porn. She's not a sea glass expert. She's a porn star. No, she's not a sea glass. She is a sea glass expert. She's not a porn star. She's my sister. All these links, the people I love, I have links of. Half of them, somehow people made me believe they're all evil people. Yeah, evil people have done evil things to me, and maybe they are. But I don't know that. And yeah, let's look back at this. That's Pornhub. That's porn. I'm not denying it. It's porn. Yeah. I'm dressed. I have shorts on. See? Shorts. I'm not nude. I'm not jacking off. Just want to make sure everybody knows that. I had other stuff on here at one point that showed. I deleted it. All my stuff saying all the things I did do. I used to have one in the videos. It was my videos that would say, I'm this and that and this. You know, what my donations, where my donations came from. I got 6 donations or 7 donations. Some of it was my brother's giving me vitamins. So, and I guess I should say 7 donations because my brothers let me have a phone service. So, but I've had phone service through Verizon. I paid through it through walking, but yeah, it was a donation, I guess. And then I have I got a USB-C card. I got a USB charger that was wireless. And then I got some donations from my brother for vitamins. And then I gotten other things. I've gotten no money. I got money when I was dating Zoe, but Zoe, all the money I got when I was dating Zoe went to Zoe because I gave everything back to her that she asked. And even I give her all my money. So if you read my book and it says, I sent her all that money, yeah, I sent all that money to her. And I find out Donald J. Trump supposedly has it. I don't know why. But I'm disabled, low income. I find out that maybe somebody screwed over my niece or somebody supposedly screwed over my Cox internet. So my Cox internet will be turned off because I can't pay the damn bill because I paid the bill in full March the 3rd. But now it shows it was never paid. I don't know. Maybe this is make-believe. Maybe life is make-believe. But a long time ago, life, people said we wouldn't ever get to the moon. Did we get to the moon? Is that make-believe? Was Kennedy and us getting to the moon make-believe? Oh, maybe it was. Because when we got to the moon, aliens came, and those were called imps. And they made the world change. Imps took control of our planet when we went to the moon. And we became a slave planet. We went from being a free planet to a slave planet when we went to the moon. Because both us and the Russians went to the moon. And somehow now we're a free planet. And we're a free capital planet. And I don't know if that's bullshit or not. But we are. And I was one of the first presidents of the world. And maybe this is all bullshit and make-believe. But why in the hell is Donald J. Trump and fucking Vance always coming over here and stabbing me? And was saying, give me everything. And all these billionaires saying, just give me all your shit. On the other side. Yeah, just give us your companies. Give us everything. Everything you own. Give it to us. Give it to us. It's free. Well, was their companies free? Did the guy in Amazon not be surrounded by books and try to slowly build up his Amazon business to become what it became? The guy at Google, did he start Google back in the days when we did what we did? Tim didn't know, but Steve worked out of a fucking garage in Apple. That's what Apple started. Mine was the same way. Yeah, I'm disabled. But maybe that is. So I am just like them. They don't. And then they say, I'm not. Well, Donald J. Trump started rich. He did not start poor, did he? No, he did. Was I rich? My dad was a cardiologist. Yeah. But I wasn't rich. He didn't make us rich. I grew up with Betty Bivens always looking at me, driving by me, pulling weeds and doing stuff around our house. And that was the funniest thing when we lived at 1601 West. And, I loved living there, and it did have a pool. It did have a fucking flagpole. The flagpole did have my name on it. It still does to this day. And it doesn't say porn star. It says it was dedicated to the memory of Admiral Furlong. Admiral Furlong was a guy that was an admiral during World War II. He was friends with my dad, and he donated to my dad this flagpole. With the flagpole came a hat trick, and I don't know why, but it gave it to me. Because if I did something special in life, I was supposed to get a hat trick. And presidents of the United States decided to end hat tricks. I don't know if they ended it in the 60s, but hat tricks were when somebody did something so honorable that when they died or got married, they got a hat trick. My brother's wedding, I didn't know, was a hat trick, but he made it a hat trick, but it wasn't a hat trick. He gave us all these swords, and we were supposed to make it when he and his wife would roll through, we'd have our swords up and do some other things. Because I guess he heard about hat tricks, I guess. I don't know. But then I gave that sword to my instructor because I couldn't bring it out to California. I gave it to him. He was my instructor of karate. And he was a great guy, a great man. He's passed on also. Or he might be alive, but he passed on, I think. And he had he had a lot of instructor children that I trained with in karate. But I gave him my sword because I couldn't take it because I didn't want to have a weapon in my apartment. But he did give me his bow. He was Buddhist, and he gave me one of his bows. It was a wood bow. And I would use that. I walk with a knife now because and it's a small hand knife because I keep getting attacked spiritually. I walk because they make me paranoid because everybody is out to kill me, supposedly. Well, I don't know. Sometimes I don't walk with a knife. Sometimes I don't take my meds. My, blood pressure meds and stuff. And I've gone weeks without taking any meds at all. It doesn't change. When I'm on meds fully, it doesn't change. When I'm off my blood pressure meds, my blood pressure does go up. So blood pressure makes a difference. The world is different today. Welcome to the new world, people. The world is different. Unfortunately, this jewelry on me is costume jewelry, right? Well, it was supposed to be, I bought it after my stepmom sent me some money for my birthday or Christmas. And she never sends, I don't know if we own a property with her. And I don't know if she signs my name to the property when she rents it every month. Because I never get any of that money. My dad paid she had paid every bill. Well, it was helping her pay bills. So we are part owner of that house. She says, we aren't. I say, we are. And I have proof. And it's in the title. So we should be giving some of that money, or we should be notified. And California needs to be notified because I need to sell my portion of it because I have to. Because I get food stamps. And I get Medicaid and other things because I'm disabled. Yeah, I'm on disability. But do I have a lot of money being on disability? Living in California, in Rancho Santa Margarita. You know how expensive it is here? The median house is $1 million. Yeah, the cheapest house is $1 million. Milk is like $5 or $6. Cheese is $4 or $5. It's not cheap. So I have to get help. I have to get assistance. I don't have a choice. And I don't like being on disability. I don't like being on anything. Life sucks. I've worked hard for my $1 trillion I have supposedly on the other dimension. But do I have it in this dimension? No, I don't. Because supposedly Donald J. Trump embezzles all my money. Or Mitch does. Because for some odd reason, I see Mitch in my head. I see Jay's 2 cents in my head. And for some odd reason, they always attack me. Jay 2 cents attacks me. Fucking Mitch attacks me. So is Donald J. Trump. Vance attacks me. And when was the last time we saw Donald J. Trump at a Catholic church? Going to church. And when was the last time we saw Vance at a church? Going to church. They both say they're born again. And they both say they're religious. What about the guy who they're best friends with? That guy who died. Did they give a lot of sermons about how he was a wonderful guy? Richie? No, they didn't. They said one or two things, and he was more interested about his ballroom that day than saying the guy who was his good friend who helped him get elected was dead. I am Catholic. I am born again. I like Jelly Roll. I like his songs. Amen. And all this type of music. Because I am Catholic. But I am born again Catholic. I've been to other churches. When I was forced to be at Salvation Army, well, I had to eat and go to their church to get to eat. So yeah, but I did go to St. Mary's. St. Mary's was not a cathedral then. It became a cathedral later. But St. Mary's, it was my home church in Emerald. Do I love my family? Hell yeah. Do I love my family in this other dimension I'm connected to? Hell yeah. I will fight and die for them in another dimension and this dimension. And I will fight and die for this world. Because I believe in this world. I believe in this country. I believe in freedom. And the worlds believe in freedom too. Yeah. The world is not a dictatorship. It was never a dictatorship. There's been succession of power. People have died and people resigned. People have been impeached. I've been impeached twice. I've been the president supposedly 7 times. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah. But then, or 7 times including being vice president, sometimes too. And now I'm an ambassador. I don't know if this is all bullshit make-believe, but if it is, it is. But then again, weren't planes bullshit and make-believe? Weren't trains bullshit and make-believe? Weren't airplanes bullshit and make-believe? Yeah, they were all bullshit and make-believe. Even Google was make-believe and bullshit. So was Amazon. So was Mr. Beast. So was YouTube. All were make-believe and bullshit at one point. So was God, almost, right? No, God wasn't. Was Jesus make-believe and bullshit? Unfortunately, before he came, yeah, he was bullshit and make-believe. But then he came, and now he's there. Is Buddha bullshit and make-believe? No, Buddha isn't. We can see the history. Are the shrines in Japan bullshit and make-believe? No, they're not. They're shrines. And we can see the history. Did we nuke Hiroshima? Yes, we did. That's not bullshit and make-believe. That's what brought aliens to our world. Aliens came because we used nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons that were used when we destroyed Hiroshima. Because we wanted to end the war with Japan. And aliens were found in Roswell. Are aliens in my head? I don't think so. But I might have joined with an alien. It was a dinosaur, shape-shifting dinosaur girl, a pterodactyl girl, and she might protect me, and other people protect me. And some aliens have been in this world all this time. Other creatures have been in this world all this time. Shapeshifters have been on this world all this time. Supposedly, Miss Betty Bivens and her husband were shapeshifters. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe that's bullshit. Make-believe. But life is different. If imps are real, imps are real. If imps aren't real, then imps aren't real. Then we were never. Then worlds aren't real either, right? And supposedly I did move the space station because when I supposedly did that, I was supposed to be paid for that, so I could bring a company back to Amarillo, Texas, and take over where the place where they were building the Ospreys, one of those areas, and try to build a business. Because I was connected to other places in other dimensions, and they were helping me develop craft so we could go to the moon and go, because Japan and the United States and other countries were banned, were being controlled now by China, because China owned minerals. All those minerals that make our electronics go boom and work are owned by China, majority. If you look in Google, 80% is owned by China. We have to go somewhere else. We have to go to the moon. We have to go to other countries. If they're all controlled by China, then China controls the world. Well, did I surprise you? Did you see porn? Well, I'm sorry. I guess I didn't surprise you. There was no porn, except for me and my breast. And I'm not, I guess. I'm kind of fat and chubby. So, fat and chubby guys have breasts. Life has changed. The world is different now. And we have to adjust and adapt and overcome. Or we repeat all over again. We have to learn from history. I'm sorry my friend died in a spacecraft protecting our world from invasion from other places. So there is a fleet of people who've died, and they're in a fleet, spiritual fleet, above our planet, protecting our planet. So most are ex-military from other, and they're all from every country of the world. And they will fight and die to protect our world from being attacked. But when will we do it ourselves? And when will we get the balls to do it ourselves to protect our world? We are letting, look at our oceans. They're all fucked up because we did stuff. What about all these different places where we have nuclear? Now we waste and stuff. And also look at, supposedly my voices talked to me, a creature, and the creature who helped, we were attacked with a nuclear weapon and I was dragged to hell. But this creature helped with the nuclear waste and the weapon damage to our country, to this area in Rancho Santa Maria. But the creature also did something else and went to Japan and did their reactor and also did the reactor in San Diego. I don't know if it's true or not, but supposedly it ate the nuclear waste. And the foundation now gets money. A foundation I'm part of who has agenda. That agenda of that foundation I'm part of. It could be all make-believe bullshit. But people say it was an act of God. Both places have known nuclear waste, then it wasn't an act of God. It was that creature. That creature said it could do other places in this country, in the world, what had nuclear waste. But it could also do nuclear weapons, I guess, too. It changes things, doesn't it? Life changes. I have a passport. It's a U.S. passport. I went to Finland. It was Finland at the time it was the first time I left, other than going to Australia. I did go to Australia also, but I went to Åland, Finland, and I was a foreign exchange student. Then I went to visit my sister in Spain, but mostly was in Åland, Finland. And Åland, Finland now is not Åland, Finland, but Åland Isles. And it is an independent country inside the EU. I've never been back. I want to go back. I want to go back to the Rotary Club and say, I screwed the fuck up, but I'd love to show you what I can do now. Because Åland, I deserves it. So does both Goodby and Maraham Rotary Clubs. Because I fucked up. When I was there, I didn't do my job well enough. I didn't learn the language. And I didn't learn the language because I had a speech impediment. I shouldn't have gone to begin with. I forced everybody so I could go to this thing, and I didn't realize I could never do it. I could never pick up another language. Because, unfortunately, when I was 6 or 7, I went to speech therapy, and I was never able to learn a foreign language. I did Spanish for 2 or 3 years, going through Tascosa. And I'm one of the few people that have gone to, I went to St. Andrews, then I went to Bivens, then I went to St. Mary's, and then I went to Stephen Junior High. Then it became junior middle school after I left it. And it was middle school because they switched it to middle school, then a junior high. But then I went to Tascosa. At Tascosa, I did go to Amaral High when I was in 10th grade for electronics. It was in the quad. And people who know Amaral High know it was there because they had also had people there who did hair. The electronics, hair, and some other things. ACAL did not exist at the time. And then I also went to Tascosa. I was one of the few stupid people that wore a Tascosa Rebel swimming shirt to school. I rode my bike to school with it, and I went to school at Tascosa, and then I rode over to Amaral High and did Amaral High, and I walked around in Amaral High, and everybody started like, what the fuck are you doing here wearing that? And I'm like, I'm Tascosa. I'm also Amaral High. And then I went to Amaral High, then to Maverick Club. That's where we all trained as swimmers. And that's where, because I was a swimmer. And I did that. I rode my fucking bike because my car was broken down. I don't know if my stepmothers loved me or not. But because my brother got all these cars, and I'm jealous of him. And he is a doctor. He's amazing. My other brother is amazing too. None of them are disabled, homeless, and living in homeless housing that I'm currently living in. None of them have had my life. I tell them to read my book, and half of them read some of my book and say, that's bullshit, make believe. And they don't read it. But if you read all my book, what I have on Spacesbox.com or on Hubi, you'll understand my life is not nice. It wasn't. Not nice. And that's just because it was from 38 to 53. My book. It's not my whole life. I've had some really good things in my life. And I have had some really horrible things in my life. Finding out one of the doctors that I really loved died after he murdered his wife. And I went to his funeral. And it was a murder-suicide. He had voices like me. And he served the country in the Korean War. He was a friend of my dad's. I still think some